So last class we studied about meaning of communication and importance of effective communication. And today we will learn about elements of communications. So what are the elements of communications? If we just think about sending a message, it is like there is only one sender and there is one receiver, and in between there is message. Okay. So but in the whole process actually there are few things that we need to see, like source. The one who send message is known is as the source. Then that message is encoded through a channel and which is decoded by the receiver, and this entire thing is known as the context. And at last we take feedback of that message that is conveyed. So if we want to see one by one, let's see first about source. What is a source? As a source of message, you need to be clear about what you want to communicate and why. The source is usually the sender. So here the source, we can say the sender is the source. Suppose you are sending a message through WhatsApp to your friend, then you are the source. And yet you should be clear about what you are sending to your friend. It should be clear. And there are two factors that will determine how effective the communication will be. First, the communicator's positive attitude, means if you are sending, there should be a positive attitude in you. And communicator's selection of meaningful words or expression depending on your audience. So when you are sending a message, that message should contain meaningful words or expressions depending upon your audience. Suppose I am teaching to students of class 1 or 2, so my words will be different according uh, according to their age and their understanding ability. And here for you my words will be different compared to those words which I would be using for class 1 and 2. So there should be meaningful words depending upon the audience. Next, message. The message is the information that you wish to communicate. So there I don't think anything is there to explain here, because message is simply that whatever information we are sending, that is known as a message. Then encoding. This is the process of transferring the information you want to communicate into a form that can be sent and correctly interpreted at the other end. Encoding and decoding both are actually used while, like when you are encrypting some information, means non-readable form are known as encoding. Then again when it is converted into a readable form, that is known as a decoding. But here this encoding is bit different. Here you can say that your encoding depends partly on your ability to convey information clearly and simply. So whatever information you are providing, whether verbally or through messages, it should be clear and it should be simple, and it should not create any confusion. Okay, so that is encoding. A key part of this knowledge, knowing your audience. Failure to understand who you are communicating with will result in delivering messages at the that are misunderstood. So if you are communicating with someone who fail to understand you, and there might be some misunderstanding while getting that message. Next, communication channel. Channel means the medium through which the information is transferred from sender to the receiver. How you are sending the information, through video or through phone, through radio or through email or through SMS, websites or chatting. How you are sending the information, that one we can say they are communication channel. So first is verbal, like speaking, including face to face or telephone or video conferences, that will be verbal. Then next will be written, which includes like letters, emails, memos and reports. That will be a written communication. And at last it will be visual communication, like signal and gestures using sign languages. Or if you are watching this video, then this is a visual channel of communication. Clear? Just say yes sir while watching this video. You will feel like interacting with me. Next will be decoding. Decoding means taking the time to read a message or listen actively to it. Whenever you get a message, at least there you will need some fraction of seconds to understand the message or to listen it actively. Okay, that is known as a decoding. Just as confusion can arise from errors in encoding, it can also arise from decoding error. So there might be some confusion also. Whenever you send a message, sometime you might see that your friend have not understood. He will ask again what you are trying to say or what you have said. So again you elaborate it to you make him understand. So the previous message which he did not understood, you can say that he could not decode it properly. Again you are explaining in a simple mind, so that will be a simpler form of message which he can easily decode it. At time in receiver's mind, the words heard by him are drawing linkage with understanding of each word. So when each word he reads or she reads, there will be some link which he will draw in his mind, so he can understand what message actually you are sending to him. So here the communication process is like, uh, there is noises outside, but uh, when someone sends a when someone sends a voice message or someone is calling you, if there is any background noise, we generally avoid that background noise, and we try to decode or we try to focus on what that person is saying. Okay, so this whole communication process is known as a decoding process. Then receiver, the one who receives the message, the one who gets the message is known as the receiver. So here you are seeing the video and you are trying to learn from this video, so you are the receiver here. Okay, then the same principle of language understanding applies as its previous step, as word can have different meaning when put together. So different meaning can evolve uh, while forming a sentence, while reading a sentence. Maybe you are getting, one of the student might be getting some might be getting some different message from this line, the other student might be getting different message. Okay, so it totally depends upon the receiver, what he is understanding, what kind of information he is receiving from the message. Next, feedback. So nowadays feedback has become a very important part of this day-to-day life. You can say feedback is a reaction or response and can be verbal or non-verbal. So feedback can be any kind of, it can be verbal or it can be non-verbal. Suppose in class, I have seen that while explaining sometimes some faces are blank. So that is like, I can say that is non-verbal feedback that they have not understood. Maybe even now you have not understood few things, so what you can do, you can ask me, you can clear your doubt. That will be your written feedback. Or if you say in the class, if somebody asks directly, there will be verbal feedback. You have to pay close attention to the feedback. Why is it why it becomes very necessary to pay close attention to a feedback? Because if feedbacks are not cleared, or feedbacks are not responded, then there will be some misunderstanding, or there will be some doubts remaining, as it is the only thing that can give you self assurance that your audience had understood the message. That's why feedback is necessary. Nowadays you can see in every those Flipkart and Amazon, you can leave your feedback. If you buy a product, you can leave their feedback. Even in Facebook or even in Instagram, if somebody likes or if somebody comments on your post, that is also a kind of feedback. If you have used Paytm, you will see such kind of feedback. That is, either you can uh, click on the first emoji or at the last one, or in between, how much did you like their services, right? Even if you like this video, you can leave a like, right? I hope you can give a thumbs up. Okay, this reminds me that in the last video there is one dislike, though it means that somebody maybe have not understood or did not like the video. So it will be great if any of you have not understood, or if you have any doubts, you ask me. You can ask me. Either you can ask in the group through your admins, or also you can message to my personal number. Okay, so that's a kind of feedback. And at last, Context. The context is a situation that forms the setting for an environment, statement, or idea in which your message is delivered. So it context means it is the total environment from beginning, that is from the from the sender, then till the receiver gets it, still he again gives a feedback. This everything is known as a context. Okay, so context in the next video, in the next slide you can see that context is entire thing. Source, then which is encoded through a channel, it is it is send and the receiver side it is decoded, then again the receiver gives some feedback. This entire thing is known as a context. Okay, so here we can stop. Thank you, and if you have any question, any doubt, you can send your doubts, your question through the admin, or you can message it to me. I'll clear your doubts. Okay, thank you.